Let me start off on behalf of the Consulate General of India, Munich, and on my own behalf. I would like to warmly welcome each and every one of you to this video conference on study in Bavaria. This is a subject that is close to our heart, the opportunity for Indian students to study here. You recall that the government of India is committed to helping Indians to get ready for the world and promote legal mobility. An important milestone in this was the migration and mobility agreement signed between India and Germany in December 2020. As we gather here, we are reminded of the profound connections that bind India and Germany, two nations united by shared values, mutual respect, and a commitment to a better and more prosperous future. Now, let me make 3 points here. First, India and Germany relationship is the closest that it has ever been. Our two leaders, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi and Chancellor Scholz, have met several times in the last 3 years. Over the last decade, our countries have worked together across various fields: science, technology, trade, and education. The recent visit to India by Minister Bhume was a case in point. This collaboration is reflected in the increasing number of Indian students choosing Germany for their higher education. From maybe about 2006 to 2021, Germany has issued over 600,000 residence permits for study purposes to international students, including a significant number from India. Now, more than 1/3 of these students who stayed in Germany long term, primarily for employment or through naturalization. Now, this trend underscores the strong bonds that we have built through education and cultural exchange, and it is a testament to the vibrant partnership between our two nations. Second, let's talk about the more open environment for migration here in Bavaria. Germany has shown a remarkable openness to international talent, and this is particularly true here. The state has embraced diversity, and recognizing the strength of a community lies in the ability to welcome and integrate students from around the world. Now, as of December 2023, there are approximately 246,125 Indian nationals residing in Germany, with a substantial portion having moved here for education purposes and then transitioned into the workforce. Now, this rise in the number of Indians in Bavaria and across Germany is a clear indication of trying to build closer partnership. In fact, to give an example, Munich hosted the largest interaction of Prime Minister Modi with Indian diaspora on continental Europe in June 2022 on the sidelines of the G7 summit. Now, in Bavaria, especially the number of Indian students and residents have increased significantly. The state is home to some of the top universities and research institutes that attract Indian students. Some of the universities also went to India recently. Today, Bavaria accounts for 1/4 of Indian students in Germany. Ms. Wiebke Dorfler will perhaps speak a bit more about that as well. Now, this rise is not just in numbers, it represents the integration and contribution of Indian students to the Bavarian academic and cultural landscape. Friends, there has been a substantial increase in the Indian diaspora in the last few years. It's only a prelude to broad-based legal migration from India to Germany. A new immigration law is coming into effect in June 2024, which will make it easier for skilled workers to move to Germany. The new legislation shortens the naturalization period from 8 to 5 years or even 3 years for exceptionally well-integrated individuals. It allows multiple citizenships, making Germany attractive for people coming from India. A new opportunity card will use a points-based system to enable skilled workers to come to Germany without a pre-existing job offer, allowing them to search for employment for up to 1 year while engaging in part-time work. Now, these changes are expected to help Bavaria become even more appealing to Indian students and professionals. Finally, we must consider education as the central vehicle for mobility for young Indians. Now, education is a powerful tool that can transform lives and open doors to countless opportunities. Bavarian universities are one of the best in the world, offering cutting-edge research facilities, innovative programs, and a dynamic intellectual community. For Indian students, studying here represents a life-changing opportunity. A significant portion of international students who come to Germany choose to stay long-term, contributing to the workforce and the economy. Partly it's the quality of education, and there's also a supportive environment which organizations like Bavarian provide. But integration is a two-way street. Indian diaspora in Bavaria come here, they promote Indian culture, Indian dance forms, food festivals organized by the Indian community organizations give Bavarians a taste of rich Indian cuisines, and we count on Indians here to encourage their Bavarian friends to visit India. So in conclusion, the journey of education transcends borders and unites us in our shared pursuit of a better future. The strong ties between India and Germany, the welcoming spirit of Bavaria, and the transformative power of education are the pillars upon which this future rests. To the students present here today, you are the torch bearers of the vision. Embrace this journey with open hearts and minds, for it is through you that the partnership between India and Germany will continue to thrive and flourish. Jai Hind. Thank you so much for joining.
All right, then I think I'll just take over at this point in time. Thank you so much, Consul General. I mean, I think that was a great context you gave and kind of setting the outlines of the collaboration, especially between India and Bavaria. And I mean, yeah, maybe just let me add very few lines on kind of what's the scenario at our universities currently, and then I'll just introduce a little bit the Bavarian Indian Center, you know, which was already mentioned as a supportive infrastructure for your stay over here. As mentioned already, we've just very recently traveled with our Minister for Science and the Arts to India, and we had a very, very positive response. Our universities are very eager on engaging deeper with India. They saw a lot of potential while we visited, and then at the same time also Bavaria has just kind of introduced a new higher education law, which is very innovative and which will enable our institutions, for example, to also offer more and more opportunities in the field of bachelor studies, which will be taught in English language. So yeah, as Consul General already lined out, the kind of all the signs are very positive for future exchange. We have now, yeah, a huge Indian community. I think it's over 10,000 Indian students by now in Bavaria. And also what we can very, very proudly say is that over 70% of the people, you know, that have started already 10 years ago with their education in Germany are actually staying over here. And this is also, you know, what we are aiming at is to first of all give opportunities for education, but then also give opportunities for employment, and then from that point, you know, enable more exchange with India, you know, where we have also people here that really have a very strong understanding of, you know, what's happening in Bavaria, and then, you know, can take it back also to the institutions where they originally came from, and you know, bring in more scientific collaborations. Yeah, so we are all very excited. We are sure there will be more opportunities for study courses in the field of, you know, bachelor's or undergrad courses, and then of course there are already multiple. I think we have around 200 English taught programs in the on the master's level. So yeah, you can see kind of the scene is set for you and for your arrival. And as I mentioned, kind of one part of it is us, the Bavarian Indian Center. Maybe I can just ask my colleague to already share the presentation. And I just give you a very brief introduction into who we are, and then my colleague who does very regularly the counseling, and whom you can also reach out if you have questions afterwards, will take over. So we are set up by the Ministry of Science and the Arts, so we are government funded, and we are of course, having like a strong look into the academic relations, but we are also generally trying to build the bridges. So our long-term goal is not only, to have like the academic collaborations, but also have collaborations. And actually, maybe you can just move on for one more slide, between academia and industry, because we see that there's even a lot of potential in like applied research, etc. And so yeah, in that way it's kind of building bridges in multiple directions, and for that of course we need like young people that have an understanding of both contexts and that are actually building these very concrete bridges. Actually, yeah, you can just move on. And this, we are doing it from our two locations, in one in the city of Hof, which is in the very north of Bavaria, and might be as of now still unknown to a lot of you. It's not one of the bigger metropoles, but a big center when it comes to Indian diaspora in Germany. And since 2013, we also have our office in Bangalore, or have kind of people working for us in Bangalore, which is my colleague Akshay, and from where we are doing a lot of the counseling, so that you even have like a counterpart you can reach out still within India if you have questions and concerns. And then probably just a very brief look onto Bavaria and why, in general, it's interesting to come. And I think Consul General has already given like a lot of points. So Bavaria is the largest German state. It has a very, very international community. 12% of its citizens are expats, and also it has a very, very strong economy. And this is what we are really, also looking forward is, for people who are interested to get to know our economy and to get first-hand experiences in not only, of course, our big companies, which I think actually will also say something about, like, BMW, or Audi, but especially also into our small and medium-sized enterprises, which are really, really important for the fact that we are economically that stable and that strong. And yeah, with that, I'll just hand over to my colleague to give a little bit more detailed insights on how it is to study in Bavaria, why else you should come. And then I think when he's done at the end, you're also welcome to ask questions, and you're also welcome to already in between ask questions in the chat, and then yeah, we'll take them up at the end.
Okay, thank you, Deepka. Thank you for the introduction. Welcome everyone for the short presentation about studying in Bavaria. Now you just got a short brief about what Bavaria is and what we do as the contact point between Bavarian universities and industry and India. Now we'll move on forward to see why is it so beneficial to learn in Bavaria or have a Bavarian degree. We can now we'll go forward with that. So here are the top six reasons why one should pursue their higher education from Bavaria, or in fact, you can also start from your bachelor's. So that is how diverse the education provided over there is. We can start with the six reasons. So as you can see, there are about 11 research universities, 17 universities of applied sciences. That is basically all the universities for engineering and all kind of applied sciences, and then 6 universities of arts. All these universities that you can see right now, also in the map, are public universities and they are not private universities. Therefore, uh, there is no fees for most of the courses in most of the universities, right? So that's like a huge point for, especially for someone who's going from India. Finance is a big factor when we are going to for higher education outside India. When the conversion rate between rupee and euros or dollars, that is a matter. That's a big factor, right? So the benefit of studying in Bavaria is that most of them do not charge any fees for most of the courses. So that's point number one for to consider Bavaria as your higher education place. Also, all these universities that you can see are they come in one of the top universities in the world. They have state of the art facilities for research, state of the art facilities for all kind of education, the libraries and also the professors. All of them, everything is top notch, and this is something not just a marketing words that I'm using. I've actually seen them. I've actually visited them personally, so I can vouch for it personally. Next, we see, as you can see, about 30.8 of the patents that are applied in Germany originate from Bavaria. And that's the start of 2020. There have been 4 years after that, so there have been a few more patents which came out from Bavaria. So that basically goes to say that the research facilities are extremely strong in Bavaria. That's why you can see the industry growing rapidly in Bavaria as well. So you can also find the elite network in Bavaria. That is basically the cream of Bavaria. All the students who are above certain level of education or are level of intelligence, they have their own network where they can share their ideas and intelligence, and they are they are offered a huge amount of resources that they want to go ahead with. And of course, once you start considering Bavaria as a location for education, you will be supported 100% with all the international offices, career services, and German language classes as well. So it's not just a place to go and study. You also get all kind of support that you require to begin with. Then it's not just the elite society that you saw. You can actually see the Max Planck Society has its headquarters in Munich, and also the Fraunhofer Society also has its headquarters in Munich. So these reputed institutions are already in Bavaria, so you can already know what quality of education is, what standard of education is available in Bavaria, right? And of course, I mean, these companies, even the kids who are not into uh, higher education elsewhere outside in the world, even they know these companies, right? Everyone knows about these companies, and they originate from Bavaria. And as Vipka mentioned earlier, these are just the face that you can see, but under them, there's a huge industry of small and medium-sized companies. So therefore, you don't need to worry about oh, if I go there and I do not get placed in say BMW or Audi, that does not mean that there is no career. There is a huge industry of small and medium-sized businesses where you can get the exact exposure that you're looking for a good career. Going forward, I mentioned earlier, there is no tuition fees for the courses. Most of the courses are free of charge. So you just need to pay for your living over there, and that you can easily, work while you're learning. So all that is already part of the system in Bavaria. High standard of living. So once you are in any city of Bavaria, you are living a very high standard of living, but at the same time the cost of living is also reasonable. You don't have to pay way too many charges for unnecessary charges. So that is also a very good point. And as I mentioned, you can work for 20 hours a week, and that basically covers all kinds of expenses that you need for an entire month. Of course, I'm talking about a student life and not something too extravagant. Yes, you would want to have some fun, go out with friends, but most of the costs are covered in these 20-hour week, as I mentioned. And Bavaria takes its security very seriously. I mean, all the campuses themselves are pretty secure, and also the cities that you go out in are absolutely secure. So that uh, box is already ticked. The security part is already covered. You need not worry about it at all. And of course, we are Indians, and we know how culture and lifestyle is important to us. So once you step out of India, and go to Bavaria, you are not going to miss out on any cultural. Obviously, you'll find a lot of diverse culture out there, but there won't be any place where there is no culture at all. I mean, all kind of places is rich with culture, and you'll get to learn so many new things in and around Bavaria. And yes, as I'm saying, you can discover new cities, towns, villages, and so many more things. So for all those who are learning German currently or have learned German must have heard about all these places, right? The castles and the football, obviously, and so many more things. There are so many references that keep coming out from Bavaria also while learning the language, right? So, so these are the top 6 reasons why one should consider Bavaria as the preference for their higher education. And then, of course, this is the Schengen area where you can travel once you have the visa. So, not just Bavaria, you can cover almost all these places that are mentioned in this map. So, all those who love traveling, these are the places you can absolutely explore. Now we'll get to the technical part a little bit. All those who have questions, you can note it down, and we can discuss them once the presentation is done. I'll go through all of them with the bullet points. So as I mentioned, you can work while you're learning. So that is basically 120 full days or 240 half days in a year. That is basically 20 hours. That is that is the time period you get to work. You're not allowed to work more than 20 hours a week, but it is not even necessary to work that long to cover your expenses. And one of the major concern that students have, that once their course is done, what if they have to come back immediately if they don't get a job? So in Bavaria, as you can see over here, you get 18 months to secure a job after your course is done. So that's more than enough time for someone to explore their options and then make an informed decision to start their career. So these are the benefits if you are considering Bavaria as your higher education point. And so these are the requirements, basic requirements to be eligible to apply to a Bavarian university. Every university will have their own criteria, but this is the basic that is required. So for all the master students, for all those who are looking for masters in Bavaria, uh, if you have done a 3-year degree in India, then you can do a master in the same field that you have done the degree in. If you have done a 4-year degree in India, that is basically engineering. If you have done engineering in India or any other course that is for 4 years, you can choose any course, any stream once you go to Bavaria for higher education. And if you are in school right now who would like to explore the bachelor, you would like to start from bachelor's in Bavaria, you need minimum 13 year of education in India. Okay, so you can take screenshots if you want, or we'll be sharing all this information later on with you. So for bachelor's, these are the basic requirements. As I said, 13 years of education, that is 12 years plus 1 year. So usually what we recommend is after year 12th, we recommend you to do 1 year of education in India, which economically is much feasible. If not, yeah, there is also a course called Studien College, which for it's basically a bridge course that you do after your 12th, so that you can apply for bachelor's in Bavaria. But if you are from an IB school or Cambridge board, then you don't need 13 years. You can directly apply after your 12th. That goes same with those who have cleared the JEE main and advanced, right? The student colleague that I mentioned, those who want to go for research side, you have to apply for the student colleague München, and those who want to, are more into engineering or applied sciences, student colleague Coburg is what you need to be in touch with. Okay, and for student colleague B1 or B2 level is important. It is mentioned B1 or B2, but I would personally recommend it is always good to have anything anything above B2 or B2 at the least, because in Bavaria you can get along with English, but it is always highly recommended to have good knowledge of German, so that it gets much easier for you to secure a job. And as I mentioned earlier, the application and entrance exam fee is free for the student colleague, and yes, there is no semester fees as well. Then we will move on to the masters. For the engineering or other applied science courses, these are the basic criteria. You can take a screenshot. I won't go through each point for too long. You can take a screenshot. I'll wait for a second. Okay. Now for those who want to do MA or MBA and other courses in research universities, you can go through all these points. So basically, Master of Science in Management is more theoretical, and first degree you usually need is business or economics, right? So that is, these are small points. I mean, these are just brief points you need to know about, but when you start actually researching for your field, you will get all the detailed information on the website of every university. So you can put yourself into a habit of also going through the eligibility criteria of any particular university you're interested. Then these are the other criteria for studying management masters. You can take a screenshot if you want. And as it is mentioned, there is no fees for many MA and MSc courses. There are a few institutions who have started charging for a few courses, not all of them, but you can go through the list later. Yeah. Okay. So please take a screenshot of these two QR codes. So you can, as it is mentioned, there are over 250 courses that are taught in English in Bavaria. These are master courses. Then there are over 200 PhD programs available, and also the summer and winter school program details. So take a screenshot, then scan the QR code and go through all the courses in detail. You might find a course that you actually want to take forward, right? And then let's go through this point shortly, because this is something that we have been receiving requests and concerns that students have been struggling with the APS certification, and some of them actually don't know why APS is necessary. So in order to filter the fake applications or wrong applications, the German universities have started the APS certification, which basically verifies you as a valid student from a valid university from India, so that there is no fraud. There is no fraud case once you land in Germany. Okay, so you have to have this certificate before you apply for any university in Bavaria, so that the application process goes much faster. So once you complete your education in India, it is recommended to secure the APS certificate as soon as possible, because currently the APS certification takes a little bit of time, but it has been much fluent than earlier, so you can plan your application process accordingly. Okay, and these are the basic requirements for a student visa. Most of you must know about this, but I'll still keep it in front of you so that you go through it once again and don't miss out anything. So as you can see, the financial proof, the amount over here is 11,050 euros, but it is approximate. So depending on what city you are living in, the cost might vary a little bit, but this is the approximate amount that you might require per month for your expense for the whole month. I'll give the breakup approximate breakup of the costing so that you can plan your living and also other expenses accordingly, right? Okay, so okay, you can also take a screenshot of this part, uh, and or later on if you need any help with accommodation, you can also write to us. We'll share the links with you, and these are the usual places where students check out for accommodation. One point I missed in this slide is avoid using agents. So by agents, what we mean is those who charge money for any kind of information for studying in Bavaria. You don't need to pay any kind of money for getting your work done. Okay, this is a pretty important point which usually people miss out on. As Indians, we are kind of in habit of getting the work done by paying someone money. I'm not talking about any bribe. It's just we outsource the things to get it done easy, right? But once you reach Germany, this is the cultural shift that you will experience, that you have to do everything by yourself, and so some students go there and struggle for a few months before they get into the habit. So what we recommend as Buy-in or Bavarian Indian Center is get into the habit of actually doing everything on your own, and we are there to support you whenever you don't have any information. We can obviously provide it to you, but getting in touch with the international office and going through the entire application process by yourself will give you the all the necessary information once you are in Germany, which is pretty essential. And for the accommodation, be aware of the scams which happen sometimes with a few students. The rate is not too high, but it is still there have been a few cases. That's why we also inform the students that they be aware of the scam, and be aware of to whom you are paying the money, right? So as I mentioned, this is the approximate breakup of the costs that you might require for your entire month in Bavaria. So this is an average of almost all the cities that are there in Bavaria. The costs might vary depending on the city. So you can take a screenshot and then you can do your budgeting accordingly. Okay. Okay. So yes, so again, as Veepka mentioned earlier, I am the contact point. Are the we are present in Bangalore, our office, but we cover the entire Indian subcontinent. So wherever you are from, you don't need to think that they are in Bangalore, so they might not help us. You can absolutely write to us, and if you scan this QR code, you will join the WhatsApp group directly, where we keep sharing the information regarding any information session coming up, or if there is any special course which is sent by any university, that we also share. So you can anytime join the group if you want, and please note down this email address and this number. We are available for you for any kind of information you require, for any kind of information on education in Bavaria. We are there to help you. So that's about it. Thank you. If we can open for the questions, if you have any. Thank you.
Okay, actually, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. So we are now open for questions. Participants who want to ask questions can raise their hand and they will be unmuted, and our guest will be responding to the queries.
Yeah, I think there are already 2 questions in the chat. So Actually, I just put up the one of the cases. I don't think that this has been like a very regular question, but it seems that so far, but maybe you have something out of the experience with the last sessions that you know. So the issue is for the bachelor programs that the Cambridge results will only be out in August, and then kind of our application deadline is already 15th of July. I don't think that's I mean, yeah, we've been coming across this issue too many times already, and I guess if one has like identified a specific course and a specific university, there would be the possibility to reach out to them and check if there's a possibility to hand in your documents and then send those later. What's your experience, Akshay, with these kind of cases? Have you come across them already in the past?
I did get an inquiry regarding the similar kind of an inquiry, but unfortunately there is no direct step that you can skip to bridge the gap between the result and the deadlines. So the Cambridge and IB board is just a facility for those who don't want to do one more year of education just to start their bachelor's, right? So those who are already in Cambridge or IB, they get a benefit of 6 months, I would say, and not the same year they complete their 12th. They can start planning for a year after they are going for their bachelor's. In meanwhile, they can definitely work on their language, so it's much easier once to integrate all these things once they are in Germany, but there is no way to skip uh, a step in order to get start your bachelor's the same year.
Okay. And I mean, kind of looking also at the procedures that need to be done with regards to visa and so on. Anyhow, the timeline would most likely be, a little bit too short if the results are just coming in August. And this is also the reason why our application deadline is so early already, that the universities are well aware that otherwise the students will just not be able to arrive in time with regards to the whole visa processing, etc. And then there are quite a number of universities actually that offer courses which starting not in the winter term but in the summer term, which then would be kind of beginning of March, roughly. So it's probably like a few weeks that are being lost, but still there are quite some good opportunities. And then actually the next question is on the Studienkolleg. So they were asking about a few more informations on the Studienkolleg. Can you just say a few more words on this?
Okay, so basically Studienkolleg is a course that you do to bridge the gap after 12th that you complete in India, because in India we have before bachelor's we do 12 years of education and then we start with the bachelor's. But for us to apply in Germany for bachelor's, we need to have 13 years of education, and to bridge that gap, the Studienkolleg course is facilitated. And in that course, you can whatever field you are applying to, you can choose your subjects accordingly and then apply. And usually this course is German taught, so that is why some students struggle with this course initially. But those who already are they have learned the language well in their school level itself, you can choose the Studienkolleg option, or otherwise the other option over here is you can get an admission in some Indian university to do 1 year of education over here. And once that is done, you can apply for bachelor's after the result is out.
Okay. Thank you so much. If there's something more specific, yeah, please write to us.
Yeah, we have got more questions in the chat box.
Okay, all right. Probably I'll just take that up. So there is a request on PhD in management studies, and yeah, kind of Germany is very well known for their science and tech. Definitely, when it comes to management studies, it's similarly excellent, right? And especially, you know, our bigger universities like the FAU Erlangen-Nuremberg or Friedrich Alexander University Erlangen-Nuremberg, they offer some very, very excellent programs in the field of management. And for example, I also know one or two chairs there that have regularly Indian PhD scholars. So there are quite a number of good opportunities around, and there is a platform called Research in Bavaria that you can have a look at. I'll just write it in the chat in a few minutes, where you can find all the information on how to do your PhD, how to reach out, and so on. And I mean, basically, you have to find, you know, that one professor that also works on the topics that are that are interesting for you. So through that, I think you also already see, okay, they kind of are they at the level and are they working on these topics. So there's quite a good guide also in the Research in Bavaria webpage, kind of how to search for these people. And there's a huge platform where you can search for all the chairs in management. And then there's another page also, or another overview, which I'll also send into the chat, where you can see all the structured PhD programs. So in case you're saying, okay, like, so there are two different types of PhDs you can do. No, one is more like a structured program. The other one is individual. If you say, okay, I'm more into the one that's already very well organized, then you can see the programs there and directly apply. Okay. Mr. Bashir, I'm just taking up the questions as I'm seeing it. That's all right, right? Okay. Okay, so then there's the question of whether it's possible to do a PhD in STEM or life science directly after the bachelor's. Actually, in most of the cases, that's not possible. We have probably one or two programs that are running under the Elite Academy, as Akshay already mentioned. Actually, if I'm wrong, please correct me, where you have like an integrated program, but normally in Germany it works like this, that you do like bachelor's, master's, and then your PhD. And basically your master's kind of, you know, is also the easy access into the PhD, right? So the professors are very closely working with their master students, and then those students that they think have a lot of potential, then they take them into the PhD. But it's a little bit different as it is, I think, in the US, where you have a lot more like integrated programs. Is that correct? Actually, is that correct, or have you, yeah, anything to add?
Is correct. You need to do masters, and it is, as you mentioned, it is necessary to start your PhD. Yeah.
Okay, then there's a question actually in the chat, if you can see it. It's on the Goethe certificates and stuff. Maybe you can take this up, because I mean, yeah, you've been working with them for a long time, so probably you're the best proof
Yes.
also.
Yes. So as I'm just reading it. Okay. So it is, see, there were a couple of questions regarding German and bachelor's. I'll cover both of them. It is not compulsory as such to have German knowledge, but most of the universities require at least A1 or A2 level of certification. The reason that we recommend you to learn anything beyond B2 is because once you go in Germany, you might not always live in cities like Munich. You might live in some smaller cities as compared to Munich. and there you might require a decent German knowledge to go by your day-to-day life, and also once you start considering your work, you might want to have a good German knowledge. And for the duration of one level, that depends on what kind of course you're doing. If you're doing your courses in Goethe, there are different batches that they facilitate, which one of them is super intensive, which usually takes about 7 to 8 weeks for one course. And if you go for an intensive batch, that might take about 4 months for one course. So you can decide your timeline accordingly, and do certain certification here in India, and then go to Germany and then complete other courses online. That is also a possibility. And yes, Goethe is a good and trusted institution for German knowledge, at least as of now. So if you're planning your courses now or in near future, that would be a good option to start your German education.
Okay, thank you so much. Then I'm seeing that there is another question on kind of how on the PhD in economics. I mean, I've mentioned that already a little bit earlier, or kind of on the side. So when it comes to doing your PhD, honestly, mostly those people that are interested to do it, they are also the best experts to find out, you know, who are like really the good departments. And in general, like the quality of our institutions is excellent all over. We don't have such you know, differences as you might you know, come across it in India, as all the institutions that we are working with, like they're government funded, and they have quite a similar structure and so on. And so in general, the quality will be very good. And then it really depends on you know, finding the right person with whom you're interested to work with. And the duration actually is normally around 4 to 5 years. Again, that depends a little bit on what kind of setup you have for your PhD, right? So there can be either the structure programs, there you'll know very well, okay, this is a 4 years program, I do this and this and that, and then I'm done with my PhD. But there are a lot of excellent positions available where you're actually being paid while you do your PhD, or where you're obtaining a scholarship. So depending on kind of how the setup is, also the contracts are you know, differ, and then according to that also the time that you'll need to complete your PhD differs a little bit. But normally I would, yeah, take consider about 4 to 5 years for this. And I've just put in the information in the chat on or the links where you find more information on how to do your PhD. Yeah, maybe that will help also already a little bit. All right, okay. Then there is someone asking for engineering programs at Technical University Munich. See, there is, as actually I already mentioned before, there is a little bit of you know, learning when it comes to Germany, and that is you have to, you know, show a little bit of own initiative, because otherwise you'll get lost at TUM also. So TUM offers a very great website where you can see all of their programs and all of their study programs. You can filter it by language, and then you'll see all the available courses. I mean, I think there's quite a lot, you know, from electrical engineering to aviation and stuff. It's a little difficult, you know, to just recommend something out of the blue. Okay. Actually, did you see the other questions? Okay, so there's one more question for the Studienkolleg. So no, for masters, there's no Studienkolleg required. The Studienkolleg only covers that 1 year of extra education, that's so-called 13th year of education that you require if you're coming from India. Then there is one question on the IELTS, etc. Levels. Actually, can you have a look into this and see?
Yes, I can. So if this is a very specific case, I can take it up after the meeting as well. But as of I can see right now, so see, there are many universities who need IELTS, and it is not similar to what the universities ask for in UK. The system in Germany is pretty different to what the requirements are in UK. So you do need to get confused with those requirements from any other country. I would just like to know if you are an Indian resident who is doing their education from Malaysia, or you are an Indian student itself. That is something I would like to know a little bit more about. But if you are an Indian student, like if you're done your degree in India, you can definitely apply. But if you're doing your education from Malaysia, then you might want to get in touch with the international office first from Bavaria and check if there are any specific requirements for this kind of a situation. So you can maybe write to me if there is any if you get stuck anywhere later, but you can get in touch with the university first, whichever you are trying to apply.
Mhm. Okay, and then there's a question on PhD in data science or aeronautical engineering. I mean, all of our big universities will offer opportunities in this field. Again, it will be Technical University Munich, it will be FAU Erlangen, Nuremberg. It will be most likely also Regensburg. Even some of the smaller universities of applied science, they might have PhD programs by now in data science, because they got a lot of new technical courses that are now available. Now, as mentioned before, the easiest is that you kind of do a little bit of search by yourself, because again, you know best what exactly you're looking for. So you can either search in the list that I've shared earlier on the structured PhD programs, or you can go through the database. I'm sharing that the direct link to this again as well on the Research in Bavaria webpage, where you can, you know, search for the departments at the universities that are, you know, working on these topics. Yeah, when it comes to aviation, it's probably just one or two of our institutions. Definitely, it's Technical University Munich. Yeah, I think FAU has something as well, but data science, you find it in Augsburg University, Regensburg. All of our big universities will have chairs in this field. Okay, then there's a question of German level to study MBBS course at LMU. So MBBS, my understanding, that's a medical degree, right?
Yes.
That's the okay. So in general, I mean, so the kind of the structure of these are a little bit different, and you have to apply for the medical courses also through a central portal, right? So then kind of you can see whether you're whether you're being placed at LMU. Normally the level for German for medical is actually pretty high. I think it's easily C1. It might even be C2,
It
because
is
there's
C2.
no, it's C2, right? There
Yes,
is
yes.
no English taught medical course currently available in Germany, as in the end you will need to talk German to the patients. And also quite a bit of the study is very practical, so you kind of soon have to go and do your practicals, your internships in the clinic. So that's why they require a very high level of German. Okay, Yeah, okay, then there's a question for colleges for Masters in Science. Some good public colleges, all of our public colleges are excellent. So it depends then again, which field of science are we talking about? Are we talking about physics or chemical or biology or etc.? Again, it's pretty easy to get a quick overview on that Study in Bavaria webpage on kind of the programs that are available there, and you don't need to worry about the quality of the college at all.
See, I would like to just elaborate or maybe clear a little bit of confusion if there is any among the participants. So the structure, the way the universities are structured in India, we have these kind of rankings of top performing universities, and what we call is the university or the college which gives the best placements. And that is how we think, like, okay, this is a good college, and we should go over here. In Germany, the structure is very different. There is no pyramid structure as such for universities. All of them have equal amount of facilities and equal amount of quality. Now the question will be, what university teaches which subjects in which constellation. So there will be a few subjects which will be taught in a certain university that you might be interested in, but the name of the course might be different. So these kind of changes might you might see, but you don't need to worry about what quality of university I'm applying to. So without thinking about or stressing over that, you can actually go through the list of courses that we have shared, and also you can go to the website called Study in Bavaria and just go through their course finder. There is a course finder on that website. You can actually go through the subjects that you want and select a course that you know best fit with, which is best fit with all the subjects, and then explore it accordingly. So when you don't need to worry about the quality or the what is the best college or something like that. So all of the facilities are best. You just need to check what kind of course you're looking for. So yeah, that's that. Thank you.
Okay, and then I've seen that there is one last question for a bachelor program in automotive engineering. Now again, as actually said, there are quite some database available where you can find these. I personally think the only one that's there in the bachelor's level and in English language is the one at Technical University of Applied Science Ingolstadt. If you're looking for masters, then it's a little bit different. But yeah, the automotive programs, yeah, most of them are rather on the master's level. And then you would, with the mechanical engineering bachelor, you would then go into the specialization of automotive. Okay. I think that's the last question.
Yeah.
How is it, Mr. Bashir? Is there anything that we've missed?
I think you have answered all the questions, and if any more questions are there, they can ask now. I think we can have one final question if it is there. No, so I would just like to take this opportunity to thank you, Ms. Toffler, and your team for taking out your time and having presented this detailed information on the prospects of studying in South Germany, especially Bavaria. And I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our Consul General, Sri Mohit Yadav, for also sharing his wonderful insights on the existing cooperation between India and Germany, especially in the field of education. And I would just thank you all the participants also for being for participating in this event and making it a success. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much also from our side. It's always a pleasure working with the consulate in Munich, and especially with you, Consul General Yadav. thanks a lot, yeah, for giving us also this opportunity.